Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 4 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Pamlico County where one person has been arrested and 2 others are wanted on charges after police went to a dwelling for a search. Now, Derek Moselle, 68 years old, was arrested on Friday while his 34-year-old son, Dakeem, and 30-year-old Tiffany Bond are wanted on other charges. Now, on Friday, deputies were called to a home at 1445 Silverbrook Road outside of Oriental for a drug search. According to deputies, several animals were found on the property, including dogs, chickens, and wild rabbits, many of which were malnourished and chained up without shelter or water. They also found multiple dead animals. Now, deputies said they seized 42 dogs and other animals for medical evaluation. The father was charged with possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver a Schedule 6 controlled substance, maintaining a dwelling for the sale of a controlled substance, felony aid and abet, possession of drug paraphernalia, and 5 counts of cruelty to animals. Now, the son is wanted for trafficking a Schedule 1 controlled substance, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver a Schedule 6 controlled substance, exposing a child to a controlled substance, maintaining a dwelling for the sale of a controlled substance, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of drug paraphernalia, and 5 counts of cruelty to animals. Now, Bond is also wanted for maintaining a dwelling for the sale of a controlled substance, exposing a child to a controlled substance, and felony aid and abet. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of the younger Moselle or Bond should contact Pamlico County Sheriff's Office at 252-745-3101. Now, of course, the big news of the day, we continue to follow the ongoing war in Iran. NBC's Alice Barr has more from Tehran.
This morning, the Pentagon confirming 3 U.S. Air Force fighter jets crashed in Kuwait, mistakenly shot down by Kuwaiti air defenses during active combat under Iranian attacks. All 6 American crew members ejected and were recovered safely. It comes amid growing violence in the Middle East, with Israel and Iranian-backed Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon exchanging fire, following this weekend's U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran. The administration speaking out today.
This was our last best chance to strike what we're doing right now and eliminate the intolerable threats posed by this sick and sinister regime.
This is not a so-called regime change war, but the regime sure did change, and the world is better off for it.
Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in the Saturday strikes, and now 2 sources briefed on the matter tell NBC News the attacks were timed based on intelligence Khamenei would be at a meeting with senior leaders. As Iran strikes back, now 4 American service members are confirmed killed in action. U.S. officials tell NBC News they were part of an army unit based in Kuwait. 4 others were seriously wounded. President Trump mourning the losses while warning.
Sadly, there will likely be more.
The president told NBC News in a phone interview he decided to act because Iran was unwilling to say they would not have a nuclear weapon following weeks of negotiations. Lawmakers return to Washington tomorrow for the classified briefings many are demanding, largely split on party lines.
I think the president has started a war of choice.
The mothership of terrorism is sinking.
Across this country, Iranian Americans hoping for freedom, while protesters fear a spreading conflict. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, thank you, Alice, for that report. We now want to turn our attention to your weather forecast. We've got warming weather coming up as we make our way through the next several days. Today, obviously, about 20 to 30 degrees cooler than where we were yesterday at this time. And it comes with plentiful cloud cover. And extending our view further back towards the west, we can see those clouds extend all the way back through Missouri, through Kansas, and into Colorado. So again, lots of clouds on the way. Here's kind of a zoomed in look of what we've got going on here in eastern North Carolina. A few raindrops getting squeezed out of the clouds. Not a ton of rain expected, but a few of us will pick up on some light showers through the rest of this evening. Again, need to highlight the fact that a few of us, not everyone, but a few of us will pick up on light showers. Not going to see downpours. This is again going to be very light scattered rain that could lead to a quarter of an inch or less of rain when it does come down. Now, air temperatures are starting to cool off a bit. We're looking more at the low to mid 50s for those of you watching along and south of Highway 264. North of Highway 264, we're in the mid to upper 40s. Overall, it's been a cooler day for those of you watching around the Albemarle Sound, but everyone has seen a pretty significant temperature drop over the past 24 hours. Yesterday was sunny and warm, felt like spring was fully here. Not the case today. We will get back to that feeling, though, later on this week once the winds shift. Right now, we've got a breeze out of the northeast blowing in at about 7 to 15 miles an hour. A little bit stronger as you get closer to the northern Outer Banks. But again, wind speeds and wind direction are going to be changing quite a bit over the next 24 hours. For this evening, temperatures go from the upper 40s at 6 down to the mid 40s by midnight. We will wake up to the low 40s early tomorrow morning. From there, we gradually warm back up to the mid 50s by noon, getting back into the upper 50s to low 60s tomorrow afternoon. Now again, lots of sunshine for the tail end of this week. Will start over the tail end of tomorrow, but it's the coupling of the sunshine and the south-southeasterly winds that will really guide us towards a warmer forecast later on this week. So, big picture look at what we've got going on across the southeast. Cold front not going to make a full pass by eastern North Carolina. It will kind of graze us, and a lot of that colder air sitting behind it won't fully make it into eastern North Carolina. That will allow us to warm up again as we head through your Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, that area of low pressure further back towards the west doesn't look like it's actually going to end up doing much for eastern North Carolina. Again, air temperatures are going to be climbing over the next several days. Do want to mention tomorrow is Election Day. Make sure you get out there and vote if you can, if you are eligible, if you've got stuff to vote on. Please make sure you do it. 63-degree air temp coming up for your Tuesday, turns to 77 by Wednesday. 80 degrees on Thursday, and then we hold in the low 80s for Friday, Saturday, as well as Sunday. Monday cools off a touch down to 79 degrees, but then we're back up to 83 the following day on Tuesday. So a little bit of some early spring heat will be present this week. Obviously, we didn't get to enjoy it today. That is going to change in a big way as we head towards Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. So another day of some early morning clouds to get through, and then it's looking like spring is certainly going to feel like it is here. Well, that's all we have time for today's 4 p.m. News and Weather Update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back coming up tomorrow morning with more news and weather from the First Alert Desk with Jim and Gigi. That'll be starting off at 7:10 a.m. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow.